For nearly 10 to 12 years, I have kept plain, unapologetic black coffee as a constant companion. Like many people who drink it every day, I thought the path to a better cup was incredibly straightforward. To get a better experience, you simply had to spend more and buy better coffee. So I began the climb. I abandoned ordinary instant powders and sought out premium blends, eventually moving to freshly ground beans sourced from high-quality regions. The drink took on a distinct personality. The roast mattered, the aroma mattered, the aftertaste became an experience, carrying a layered, smoky depth that caffeine alone couldn't provide. With the right beans and the right brewing method, the pursuit of taste seemed entirely conquered. Every morning guaranteed a perfect cup, masking the slow trap that was already setting in. Over time, a strange paradox emerged. The more continuously I drank this premium coffee, the less I actually appreciated it. This chart illustrates a psychological mechanism known as hedonic adaptation. We see a sudden upward spike in pleasure immediately following a lifestyle upgrade, like switching to premium coffee. But watch what happens next. As the brain normalizes the new high-quality experience, the appreciation line smoothly slides back down to the original baseline. The actual quality of the coffee never dropped, but the palate's expectations shifted upwards, rendering the luxury invisible. It leaves the drinker in a frustrating cycle. The smoky richness that once impressed you becomes routine. The aroma fades into pure familiarity, and even the best coffee in the world begins to feel perfectly ordinary. Continuous abundance creates an invisible ceiling on our capacity for enjoyment. When everything is excellent all the time, excellence becomes the new baseline of average. I accidentally stumbled on a counterintuitive solution to this plateau. I decided to drink objectively bad coffee for an entire week. This meant replacing my carefully sourced beans with generic mass-market instant powders, the kind bought off a supermarket shelf without a single thought given to origin or roast quality. The sensory deprivation of that week is harsh. The morning ritual devolves into a cup of flat, bitter water. It provides functional caffeine, but it carries absolutely zero personality. Enduring this flatness is a psychological necessity. By forcing the palate to accept a lower standard, you are systematically wiping clean its premium expectations. Deliberately stepping down the ladder of quality breaks the illusion of the daily routine. It dismantles the elevated baseline that abundance built. Then comes the highly anticipated moment. After 7 full days of deprivation, you return to those preferred freshly ground beans. The mocha pot brew returns with a dense, concentrated personality. After the week of bitterness, the coffee feels alive. You realize that simple bitterness does not make a good cup of coffee. A truly good cup requires the sharp, sudden contrast of aroma, body, texture, and memory. Specific profiles regain their distinct identities. The subtle, fruity sharpness of a lighter Arabica, or the deep, smoky warmth of a dark roast, punch through the senses with renewed clarity. The brain did not need a better bean to find joy again. It required a reset baseline to actually perceive the quality that was sitting there all along. True appreciation is physically and psychologically impossible without stark context. We rely on occasional deprivation to give meaning to abundance. This frighteningly fast adaptation to good things happens everywhere in life. It is the biological tax we pay for consistency. People stop noticing the perfume they wear every single day. A favorite song loses its emotional impact through constant repetition. We adapt to presence in the same way we adapt to flavor. When someone is always there, a partner, a friend, or a parent, their daily contribution starts to blend into the static scenery of our lives. A mother's daily sacrifices or a father's quiet responsibilities eventually become expectations rather than sources of appreciation. They dissolve into the routine background noise of a household. This is the quiet tragedy of human relationships. Someone's intense loyalty and daily support often become fully visible only after absence creates a sudden, undeniable gap. The human brain inherently requires the architecture of contrast just to perceive value. This is why, strangely enough, mediocre or difficult experiences occasionally teach us far more about the good things in our lives than the good things themselves ever could. our deepest preferences are not simply about taste. They act as mirrors for the memory, the rhythm, and the emotional tone we seek in our daily lives. So I follow a simple rule. Every once in a while, I intentionally step away from the good things. We must occasionally embrace absence, not because we have stopped loving our constants, but because life itself requires deprivation to rediscover what we truly hold dear.